I'm a suspect. Hanging with the killers in the projects. Taylor want a barrel, keep quiet. Catch a nigga slipping from behind. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. Put nigga out like an outbreak. Chopper start, send me the house shake.
What's good, T Squad? It's me, Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea, All Shade Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 5, Episode 10 review. Please, you guys, make sure that you tune in tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time for my explosive tea spilled interview with Charlissa. Yes, she has been mentioned on the Real Housewives of Potomac, in the blogs, in the news, because her ex and baby's father, Darius Harris, is now engaged to newbie Real Housewives of Potomac star Jazzy Rideau. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. And I felt it necessary for her to get her side of the story out and tell her truth. And baby, does she tell the truth, or her truth rather. And do I ask all the questions? I ask them all, honey. And we get down to the nitty gritty. You do not want to miss this, because not only did she come with her side of the story, but she came with receipts. Receipts, y'all, receipts. So make sure you tune in tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time. I cannot wait to chat with you all in the live chat room, and please make sure that you thumbs up the video, this video as well, and that you share the interview with everybody. Tell anybody and everybody that watches Potomac to tune into my interview tonight. All right, now let's get into this episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, because this by far is one of the best episodes of Housewives in Housewives history. Okay, this was fantastic. I love that majority of the episode was based around this breakfast that they had at Mary's house, much like what we just had happen on Potomac when the ladies sat down for breakfast and Karen ate Jacqueline and Mia up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Baby, A+, letting you know this was an A+ episode. I love it. It goes down in housewife history as one of the best episodes ever. Okay, so Mary is having a breakfast at Tiffanys themed event at her home. She's hired caterers, decorators. She got Tiffany notebooks for all of the ladies, which she said on the after show that she kept because them heifers didn't come in theme and was acting up in her house. And she also said that she opened a bottle of $20,000 wine that she only gave to her and Angie. The rest of them heifers couldn't drink the good stuff. Okay, but one thing I can say is I hated the flowers. The flowers was given very much funeral home. You know, she got a direct line to the funeral homes in Salt Lake, and that's what it was looking like. I did not like the flower arrangements at all, but other than that, everything looks beautiful. She brought out her best china, her Versace china, her crystal goblets, and everything. Fantastic. Lisa meets with Heather at Kiwasabi, that place that Kyle took the ladies a few seasons back on Beverly Hills when they went skiing. And remember, that was the episode where Kathy was there promoting her new liquor, and the whole debacle with her and Lisa Rinna went down. But she has Heather meet her there, and she tells Heather that Bronwyn told her a completely different story about their meeting than what Heather said. And that she told her that when Heather left her home that she cried. And Heather is shocked by this. And I really, truly hate that she even told Heather that, even though she was going to see it on TV. But I hate that she told Heather that, because Heather is one of the type of chicks that you give an inch and she going to take it a mile. And I know that made her feel good. Like, oh, I made her cry. And it's like, oh, when I tell you I'm going to dig in that tonight, oh, I'm gonna dig in that. Oh, I cannot stand Heather. She did it for me tonight. So also goes on to tell her how Bronwyn was mad that they called her. And Heather said, so she got mad that you called me, but cried when I didn't come? Like, make it make sense. And it was like, Heifer, she didn't cry about you not coming. Don't even give yourself that type of pat on the back. She was crying because she didn't like the way that the conversation went, okay? Because she didn't want that. She ain't got no issue with you. You the one that got an issue with her, because it's giving me very much you're jealous of her and her life. You want her life, okay? And you ain't got it, and you ain't gonna get it because you ain't got it. Flash, okay? Lisa then tells her that Todd threatened to have them leave, and she says that she feels like the reason why is because she was taking up for Heather. So obviously that meant to Bronwyn that she was against her. And y'all see how folks like to spin stories and create their own narrative? That was not the case at all. You were causing contention. You was being fake. You were being funny acting, okay? You were shading her on her own trip. That's why they threatened to have you and your husband leave. So Lisa says that Bronwyn kept wanting her to speak for Heather. She never did that. You kept speaking on Heather's behalf, and you put yourself in the middle of this situation. But magically now it's Bronwyn that puts you there. Like, these white ladies love to manipulate a story. Love it. So Heather says she's not going to come and disrupt our friendship. We've been through the trenches together, all of us ladies, and I'm in a great place with all of you. And Lisa says, you know, but she doesn't understand that. And Heather was like, I'll teach her. Girl, you can't teach nobody nothing. You can't even teach yourself how to dress, okay? You couldn't even teach yourself how to lose weight properly. You had to get a shot to lose it, all right? You can't even teach yourself how to keep a man, okay? Or religion. You can't teach nobody nothing, okay? Not a damn thing, okay? You ain't gonna teach Bronwyn nothing, because let Bronwyn off her leash, she will read you from head to toe, like I'm gonna do in this video, okay? Like, Heather then lost her mind. This bitch then lost 10 pounds and lost her goddamn mind, for real, for real. And somebody need to remind her real quick that you were not and will never be that girl, okay? So Daddy Todd is sitting outside, mad like a curmudgeon. Bronwyn joined him outside and was like, hey, what's going on, or whatever. And he tells her that he did not like how the trip went. He says that in the 10 years they've been together, he's never seen her act like that. He ain't never seen her yelling and getting beside herself. And I don't believe that, because he even made a comment to the guys like, y'all don't want to see her mad. Y'all don't want to see Bronwyn mad. So that's cap. And then he goes on to tell her that she ruined a perfectly nice afternoon. And her whole confidence just deflated. And I was like, is he seriously blaming this on her? Does he not understand the world that they're in right now? And it leads me to wonder, and I need somebody to ask Bronwyn this. Did you really sit this man down and tell him what kind of show you were signing up for? Because he does not get this universe at all. He does not get it. He does not understand it. He doesn't understand that situations that would go down in real life are heightened to the 10th degree on reality television. And even without that being said, she didn't do anything wrong. She was defending herself from fake ass bitches like Lisa and Meredith. So for him to sit up here and say that she ruined a perfectly nice afternoon is like, where were you at? Huh? What? Did you get swimmer's ear or something? Like, what are you talking about? Then he says that her behavior wasn't very becoming of her, because he feels like she's supposed to act a certain way at all times. And it's like, you can't tell nobody nothing when you don't even behave properly all the time. You're rude as fuck and don't know how to talk to people, especially your wife. So you can't tell nobody how they should or should not act in public, sir. And I wish that she would have had the balls enough to say that to him. And maybe she did off camera, but she literally sat there and got teary-eyed. And she even says in her confessional that his approval means everything to her. It's literally like a father-daughter type relationship. And this is what tends to happen when younger women marry older men. Like, the older men look at them like trophy wives or schmex objects or whatever, and don't want them to have a voice. They're literally there to be seen and not heard. And then when they are seen and heard, they like to become daddy, literally, and put them in their place and pat them on the head and tell them good girl. And it's like, no, that's not how this is gonna work. You know what I'm saying? And she says to him that she doesn't know how to act in this circle of women because they curse each other out and do all this. And he says to her, well, you need to leave then when they get to acting like that. And leaving is not going to solve anything in this universe that she's in. You know, it's like he doesn't get it. And so I don't know if there was a really poignant conversation that was had before they got on this show where she showed him actual footage of the show or what, or if she didn't, because this is weird to me. And if he doesn't like that, then she shouldn't be on the show then if it's going to be like this, because this is the type of behavior that happens on these types of shows. So if he is so adamant that he does not approve or like this type of behavior and settings and doesn't find it becoming of his wife, then it's either A, she gonna quit, or B, he just will not be associated with the show, or C, they gonna end up leaving each other. Period. I mean, but she ain't got no prenup, so I guess yay for her. So you can leave if you want to leave, nigga. Okay? But I didn't like that. I really honestly didn't. I felt bad for Bronwyn. So Angie has a sit down dinner with her father, and she discusses how lately she's really been feeling like she missed out a lot on not having a mom growing up, and how Electra calls her a helicopter mom because she's always hovering over her. But it's obvious that she does that because she didn't have that growing up, and she wants to have that mother-daughter bond with her child. But Angie tells her father that she's mad at her mom because she needed a mom growing up. And here I was thinking like her mom got sick or something and passed, and she was like, she made a comment and says that her mom didn't try to get better. So I was like, it was leading me to believe she had an addiction problem or alcoholism problem or something that kept her from being the mother she should have been. And it caused her to, you know, pass away early at an early age or whatever. But regardless, I feel really bad for Angie. Thankfully, she had an amazing father that took the reins and raised 7 kids on his own, which I know had to be very tough. So shout out to him. I love her relationship with her father and how close they are together. So it's time for Mary's breakfast at Tiffanys party. Okay. Bronwyn arrives first in this beautiful pale yellow dress and these cute yellow slide-in heels, and she had her Audrey Hepburn hairstyle with the little swoop cut bang. Her hair was styled perfectly. Whoever did her hair and added the little clip-on bang did it fantastically. Okay, Meredith then arrives next, child, and she tried to do the fake bang situation and it didn't work out right at all. It looked literally like this. This is literally how Meredith's bangs was. It was like, what is happening here? Like, I don't remember Audrey bangs looking like that. Cause what is this? It was like some claws, a wide tooth comb. It looked a mess. Okay, it looked a mess, and she kind of looked a little costumey, a little bit, honestly. Yeah, Meredith looked like Cruella de Vil. She looked a mess. Okay, Lisa then arrives in this Tiffany blue metallic jumpsuit that Mary actually wore last year on Watch What Happens Live. And Mary looked at her like, no, you didn't come to my party in an outfit that I've already worn. Okay. And I'm looking at her like, why would you even want to wear an outfit that somebody else has already worn, Lisa? And then it just wasn't fit for the occasion. I understand it was like the Tiffany blue almost, but it just wasn't fit for the occasion. Angie, however, arrived looking fantabulous. She was best dressed for me. She looked stunning. Her French roll, her updo, the little side curly bang, the earrings, the black dress. She looked phenomenal. Okay, her and Mary did the assignment well, as well as Bronwyn. Bronwyn looked amazing too. Okay, amazing. So Heather arrives, child, dressed in all white. Did she look pretty? Yes, she looked pretty, but then she also looked like a cloud couch. You know that clown couch, that sectional that everybody was getting like 2 years ago. That's how she came in there looking like Puff the Magic Dragon. I just cannot stand her. I literally cannot. Okay, they all sit down and Angie is shocked to see that Brittany even has a place card. And Mary was like, well, I invited her because I wanted to show her I'm not poor. Like, this is not poor. Okay, so Brittany then arrives late, looking disheveled, looking like she just hitchhiked there, looking like Bret Michaels for Rock of Love. Like, Brittany needs a makeover. Her makeup is way too dark. It's way too orange. It's way too harsh. It's giving 80s rock band realness. The hair is got way too much product in it. It's stringy. It's hard. It's just too much going on all at once. She didn't even dress appropriately for the event. All that dark makeup. She just looked it was a mess. Brittany says as she hugs Mary, the best arrives late. And Mary said, I don't know about that. Mary cannot stand her, okay? But you know what my thing is with Brittany? Brittany is delusional. Brittany is crazy, okay? Brittany acts like a petulant child, a teenager, but I like her because she's oblivious. Her and Mary have more alike than they want to admit. You know what I'm saying? I think that Mary has a little bit more sense than her, but they're both very aloof. And I like her on the show. I think that her kookiness and her dumb blonde behavior is needed for the show. Heather then makes a toast and says, you know, Mary, thanks for the invite to your home. I love that everyone was invited, which we know didn't happen with the Palm Desert trip. Taking an obvious shot and dig at Bronwyn. And Bronwyn didn't take the bait. She just looked at her and kept it moving. So they break bread and start eating. And Mary tells Brittany, don't put the bread in your purse. And Brittany tells it's too small. And I was like, she was going to do it, Mary. She was going to do it. So then here go Brittany bringing up the fact that she wasn't invited on the trip. And I didn't even trip off the fact that she was not invited, y'all. Totally forgot about that lady. And she says that it's even more messed up because she had just seen Angie the day prior when I think they either got together or no, when she came to her little church group meeting or whatever. And then she goes on to say that it was weird that Angie brought a bottle of wine to the church group meeting. And how she's supposed to be Mormon and all of this stuff. And Whitney was like, what's the problem? You know, why are you drinking champagne then now? Like, if it's such an issue. And she was like, oh, because it's for me. And it's like, girl, stop. You can't want to be Mormon when it's beneficial to you when you're not supposed to be drinking at all. Angie hit her with a one-hitter quitter. It was like, you want to have a problem with me for bringing wine and you're doing 3 guys at once and you drink. Baby, I screamed because Angie read her for filth. And Mary says in her confessional, I don't know who Brittany's dating, but I do know that Jared is in my DMs and I need to know why. And she shows DM proof that this man is DMing her. And I'm like, why is he doing that? And it was giving me very much, he either heard from Brittany or saw the fact that they don't get along and he knew that things were going to go south between him and Brittany and he wanted an ally on the show because he's an opportunist. He likes the fact that he is getting his little 5 seconds of fame by being on the Housewives, okay? And he wanted to be able to go to Mary and talk about Brittany, point blank and the period, okay? But I was gagged, gooped and gagged. And the producers asked Mary, is she going to tell Brittany? She was like, no, I do not need that soap opera in my life. I got enough going on as is. Like, nah, they can have that. So then Whitney come with the haymaker and says to Brittany, are you mad that she brought the wine or that she exposed the fact that you drink? Baby laid the gavel down on that heifer. She told him, so, I mean, yeah, you know, because it is kind of embarrassing. Yeah. You ain't mad because she brought the wine. You mad because you was probably lying to all these church folks, making them think that you over here clean and sober and you up here chugga-lugga-lugging probably before they came and after they left. Get out of here with that foolishness. Brittany then says, you know, I'm just on edge because I feel so excluded. And Lisa was like, well, honestly, I didn't think that you would be sad about not coming on the trip considering you've been super rude about Bronwyn and Todd's life. Once again, why do you think that she would invite you on a trip where you talk cash money about her and her man? Make it make sense, Brittany. Okay? And Bronwyn was like, exactly. Like you said this, that, and the third about my relationship. Heather then jumps in because you know Heather got to take a dig. And she says, then why don't you have a prenup? Why are you so hung up on the fact that this lady ain't got no prenup? Did you have a prenup or something? And you didn't get nothing out of your little rinky-dink marriage? Like, why are you hating on the fact that this lady ain't got no prenup? I'm so confused. I guess because she's trying to correlate that with you don't have a prenup. So that means that you're a gold digger. If that man wanted to have a prenup with her, he would have got a prenup with her and she still would have married him. Don't get mad. Hate the game, not the player. And like the whole argument is stupid. Because why are you in my pocket? Why are you in my relationship? Try to find you one. Rather in her confessional time, so I get a prenup before I anybody at this point. You need a prenup. You need a chastity belt. You need anything that will help a to fuck you. Because don't nobody want to fuck you. You Build-A-Bear looking ass bitch. Like, girl, like, oh my God, I cannot stand this bitch. She looked like a pack of Bob Evans sausages. I cannot stand Heather. Oh, manly built ass. Oh, Tim the two-man Taylor looking ass. Her jaw is stronger than my biceps. No amount of plastic surgery or Ozempic is going to make you beautiful, okay? Because you have a nasty attitude, a nasty spirit, and a jealous heart, okay? You are so bothered and jealous about Bronwyn, girl. I don't know if she reminds you of somebody you went to school with or something, but girl, you got a hard on for her and it's quite weird. Really weird. Bronwyn then calls her out about the fact that she keep on bringing up her husband and she don't even know him. And Heather says, I know 3 things about your husband. I know that he doesn't have a prenup with you. He collects Starbucks mugs. And I know that he's an asshole on couples trips when he wants someone to leave. And I said, so this should show y'all she don't give a fuck about throwing y'all under the bus when y'all tell her shit. Because she likes to then take what y'all tell her to use it against other people as a shady moment or a dig. And Lisa was looking like, bitch, did you really just say that? And Bronwyn was like, oh, cute, Lisa. Like, oh, okay, this is what you had to say about my husband. And Bronwyn, if you didn't know, you know now that Lisa is a fake fugazi. Bronwyn then says to Heather that she actually booked her a return flight for the trip. And she was like, how did you do that when nobody actually knows my birthday? Because I've lied to everybody about it. And everybody was looking like, huh? Like, why would you be lying about your birthday? Oh, because you really like 95 years old? Because you old as shit? Because you was born during the Great Depression? You old hoe? Like, why would you lie about your age? So Lisa says that Angie was upset that they were in coach too. And Angie denies it. The evidence that they showed didn't really support that Angie was really upset about being in coach. And Bronwyn said to them, you know, I got you and your husband's gifts. I got the house. I took y'all to the Indy 500. And anyone who gives a flying fuck where they sat for 67 minutes basically need to get it the fuck together. And I don't blame her because y'all acting like some ungrateful, spoiled ass, aka Lisa. And here go Heather. Here go Heather. If it doesn't matter, why did you book yourself and your husband in first class while they sat in coach? And Bronwyn hit her with a one-hitter quitter and said, because it was my credit card. So I put myself where I wanted to be. You throw an event, you throw a trip, and you pay for everything, and you put us all in first class. How about that? I'll be waiting for the invite. That's what I would have said to her. You thick neck bitch. Bronwyn points out that whatever she says, Heather is going to have an issue with it. Point blank, period. And at that point, Heather had no choice but to tuck her tail between her legs and simmer it the fuck down, because if she would have kept going, it would have proved Bronwyn right. And anybody with eyes sees that Bronwyn is right about the situation, because she's making something out of nothing when it comes to Bronwyn. So at this point, Heather simmers it down and says that, you know, she's very hurt and upset, and that she too wants to work on their relationship. And so they cheers, and it's okay for now, but we all know it ain't gonna last. So everybody's having a Kumi Y moment, and here go Brittany. You guys, seriously, what about me? What about me? Am I invisible? What about me and my feelings? I'm hurt too. Nobody's acknowledging me. Somebody said, what about you, girl? Sit your ass down. So Lisa says that, you know, you should apologize to Bronwyn. So she gives Bronwyn this old fake ass surface level apology, and Bronwyn was like, okay. Bronwyn didn't really give it because she didn't believe it. So then Angie brings up the podcast situation with Meredith, and Meredith says, the problem for me came in when you started going backwards, and I don't want to go backwards with you, Angie. If we want to go backward, it's not going to be pretty for anybody. And so when she initially said that, while I was doing my reaction video on Patreon, I said, is that a threat? And Angie said it too, because on first listen, that is how you would take it. But in all actuality, if you play it back and rewind it and slow it down, she wasn't actually being threatening. She was both basically saying, if we continue to go backward, it's not going to be good for you, me, or our husbands, or the situation. It wasn't a threat, but I can see how it could be perceived as one, because that's how I perceived it. So Angie was like, you know, I think what my husband was trying to say was, you throwing out, you want me to go there with the husband. It didn't land well. And we got a lot of support from the LGBTQ plus community that didn't like what you were throwing out there. Meredith cuts the conversation, start yelling or whatever, because what Angie's saying is true. And that's why Meredith made the comment that, oh, I would never try to out somebody or shame anyone's sexuality, because my son is too gay and I am a, you know, an advocate for the community. That's exactly what she was doing. And Sean was not talking about Brooks. He was talking about her using her son's sexuality as a scapegoat for her behavior. Point blank and the period. Now, I love me some Meredith, but when you wrong, you wrong. And in this instance, you are in fact wrong, because you put that out there about that man. So it's crazy to me that you would then think that you're the victim. Meredith, like I said, is yelling, and she was like, okay, since you want to go there, I'll play the podcast, so she could prove that she's right, that he was talking about Brooks. She held the phone out so the girls can hear the conversation, and she's holding the phone out, and then all of a sudden Whitney snatches her phone out her hand and gets to going like this, and she was like, I can hold my own phone, and she gets her from the table and goes and try to take it out of Whitney's hand, and Whitney literally is like holding on to it, and she was like, give me my phone. And I was looking like, Whitney, what the are you doing? Like, why would you snatch that lady's phone out of her hand? Like, that should have got you smacked, literally, for real. Like, Whitney done lost her goddamn mind. I don't know if it's the bleach in her hair, but what is your problem? And so Meredith snatches the phone, and Whitney was like, I was trying to turn up the volume. I was trying to turn up the volume. Bitch, that ain't how you do it. You tell her we can't hear. You don't snatch nobody and then refuse to give it back to him. The f are you talking about? It was giving me like she was trying to like delete it or something, because why would you be doing like this if you were trying to turn down the volume? The buttons is on the side. But okay. Angie and Meredith are yelling at each other, going back and forth, raising their voices and everything. And Mary has had it. She's trying to tell them both to stop yelling, stop yelling, but they keep on arguing. So Mary says, Angie and Meredith, if you're not going to listen to me, get out of my house. Baby, Meredith takes this as an open call to be Macbeth. All right, then I will leave. And she gets up and put on her fur. And Mary was like, girl, I'm not telling you to leave. I said, if you won't listen, then I want you to get out of my house. No, she just told me to leave, so I will leave. I love you, but I'm going. And Mary was like, girl, don't do this. Like, we could sit down and y'all can have a separate conversation. And she was like, no, because I'm hurt. So I'm going to leave. And she saw a fake crying child. Ooh, white women and they white devilish cheers. So she's walking out and Mary was like, really, Meredith? Really? And Meredith is going to say, clearly you and Angie have had a field day ripping me apart. So I give you permission to carry on. And I'm looking like, I know you lying. So you're the reason why you and Mary fell out, because you took that little thing and ran with it knowing damn well she was not telling you to get out of her house. Y'all were being super disrespectful. And she said it not only to you, but to her as well. So Meredith, you doing that fake fugazi white woman shit where you're trying to play victim because you knew that your back was up against the wall and that what Angie was saying about you was right. So Mary in her confessional gonna say, whew, thank you, Lord. She took them bangs with her. This is Audrey Hepburn, not the Flintstones. And the episode went off. Girl. Fantastic episode. One of the best. This cast is stellar. They don't need to fire anybody. Bring this whole entire cast back next season. I love it here. I love it here. I love it here. This episode gets an A+. An A+. And y'all know I don't give out A+, but this is a classic episode. Filled with shade, filled with glamour, filled with fashion, filled with luxuriousness, okay, filled with drama, laughter. It was everything that I needed and more, okay, everything. Chef's kiss. Loved it from beginning to end. Y'all let me know down below in the comment section, what did you guys think about this week's episode of Salt Lake City? Let's talk about it. I can't wait to read you guys' comments. Please make sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so you know my videos drop. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.